Hey, everybody. It's Jay with Guilty of Crime. And today we're talking about justice for harmony. Now, before I even saw this video, which I want to share and talk about my thoughts, and maybe if I get some people coming in here as well, I know it's a little early today, but either way, the rewatch crew can be here, and the guilty of crimers. We're gonna call it guilty of crime day oneers. So if you day oneers come and join me, let's talk about justice for harmony. I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about this case a lot lately, and there was a lot of injustices for harmony, and as we go through this, you'll see the injustices. She was a little girl. She lost her mom. She lost, well, her dad wasn't too much of a loss, but she lost parents. And when you're young and you don't know better, it's a loss. After she lost her mom, she got stuck with her, she got stuck with her dad. In between that, she was in a foster care. She grew to love those parents, and then they got taken away. Hey, Sadie's mama and Juror 13. I hope you're thinking about the same thing that I am, because I want to know, do you think that justice was done for harmony? We still don't know the sentencing for Adam. And another thing is, he wasn't at court. That feels really bad to me that Adam wasn't even at court to have to deal with that, and for people to be in his face. So I really truly hope that when they do the sentencing and people give the victim impact statements, that he has to be there. I really do hope. We talked about that before. What do you think, Sadie's mama? Do you think they're going to make him be there? Juror 13, what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Now, that's why I want to watch this video, because before this even came out, my thought was, did she really get justice? So many injustices were done, and I don't know. I don't know that she did. So, first, let's see what happens when he gets sentenced. He's probably never getting out, number one. But when he was out, he tortured her for a really long time. And then all the other losses that she had, and her poor, desecrated body. We haven't brought her home. She hasn't been laid to rest. And there's just so many things that I feel that are not justice for harmony, even though we all said justice for harmony, hashtag, and we're so happy. I was happy when I heard the verdict, but let's listen to this, and we'll listen and we'll comment on it. Let's hear what Vinnie Politan and Sorey has to say about this, okay?
Where is little Harmony Montgomery? What happened to her? These are questions that have remained unanswered for more than 4 years in Manchester, New Hampshire. But now, at least one of those this sweet 5-year-old special needs girl was living in a car with her violent career criminal drug addict father, Adam Montgomery, her lying drug-addicted stepmother, Kayla, and 2 younger half-brothers. Harmony was living a very tumultuous life with a man she barely knew. Adam was in prison when Harmony was born, but somehow he got full custody when Harmony's mother missed a court hearing because she was in court in another courthouse for another one of her children. And the judge and the lawyers did not delay the hearing, something that should have been requested by the attorneys and something any judge has the discretion to do. The results of that hearing was a death sentence for Harmony. She was living in a car with 4 other family members, and that shook Harmony to the point that she was having accidents. These accidents resulted in brutal beatings by her father, the last one killing her. Adam Montgomery was convicted beyond any reasonable doubt by a jury and will die in prison. But this story is not over. Harmony has still not been found. Tonight, we speak with the one parent who loved Harmony. Crystal Sorey joins us live for the hour as we continue our investigation into what happened to this little angel.
Yeah, I wanted to leave that picture up so you can see her as I talk. This was really good timing because this case absorbed me and probably many of us. I followed it every single day, even though I didn't bring it to the channel because I purely didn't have time for that. Working 8 hours a day and having a 9-year-old. That's why I see this little girl and I just can't, sleeping at night is hard when I'm thinking about this, and it consumes me when I'm at work and I'm listening to the case. And after the verdict, it was only just a split second that I was happy about the verdict and him being guilty. And then I went back to, what about Harmony? What about when she lived in the car and she was punched in the face and her body was desecrated, and so many different losses of love that she had throughout her tiny little life. So I'm glad that you're getting to see this with me, Sadie's Mama, Juror 13, anybody else that joins the rewatch crew. Please listen to this. I mean, I just really want you to know that no matter what, there's never going to be full justice for Harmony, even if they ever bring her home, which in my opinion, I'm not sure that they're going to find that body the way it was moved and desecrated. She was so small, and I think it was really well thought out where they put her and how small of a bag that they put her in. So if by God's will they do find her and bring her home, she still never had justice being alive. And yeah, she's a little angel. She's up above, or wherever you want to think, in spirit, watching over everybody and shining that light to everybody, right? Everybody that's touched. She's touched everybody's heart. So let's listen to this.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be an important hour here on Closing Arguments. Harmony Montgomery had a difficult life. We all know that now that we've gotten to know her story to a certain extent. It wasn't easy. Think about it. An abusive killer father. An abusive killer father who was in prison when she was born and in some way gets custody. I mean, let's not start down that road because that will drive you crazy. It's inexplicable. It was outrageous, but it actually happened. Not only an abusive killer father, but then an evil stepmother who did nothing to protect this little girl. Zero. Nothing. Lied some more. Lied again. The only one who was looking for her was her mom, Crystal Sorey. And Crystal struggled with addiction issues, addressed those issues, but lost custody. And then Adam just did whatever he could to avoid any contact with Crystal, keeping Harmony away, and now we know why. So in this case,
evil stepmother.
There was a trial. You saw it here on Court TV. But it was a result of Crystal Sorey making noise and looking for her that Adam Montgomery was questioned, that Adam Montgomery was arrested, and then Adam Montgomery was tried and convicted of the murder. Before we speak with Crystal Sorey tonight, I want to show you some of what happened during this trial that made so many of us sad, angry, and heartbroken all at the same time.
The defendant committed multiple violent crimes against a small child, a helpless child. In December 2019, he assaulted and he murdered because of that rage, his rage. He destroyed Harmony so that he could never be caught.
Adam Montgomery did not cause Harmony's death. Kayla Montgomery was the last person to see Harmony alive and know how Harmony died. But she didn't come clean with Adam. She didn't come clean with the police. And she will not come clean with you.
Did you take her and put her in the ceiling of your room at the fit shelter?
No.
Did you smush her into a CMC bag like the one I showed you earlier?
No.
Who did those things, Kayla?
Adam Montgomery.
Kayla, I want you to look at these jurors. Kayla, did you kill Harmony?
No, I did not.
Did you beat her to death?
No, I did not.
Were you alone with her when she died?
No, I was not. The more accidents she had, the more he would get angry. And he would hit her repetitively. When he would hit her, she started getting black eyes and bruises on her face, on her legs.
Did you see him put Harmony in that duffel bag?
Yes.
I paused it on the bag on purpose so you can see the size of that bag that poor little girl was in. Also, at the same time, wow, how she sat there on the stand, just stone faced, saying, yeah, he did this to her. Yeah, he punched her. Yeah, this, that, all the bad stuff that happened to her. And, you know, I understand domestic violence, DV. I understand all the things that she went through, but how could you watch that and then go on with your life? She's going to be out in less than a year, y'all. You know that, right? As long as everything goes as planned, she'll be out in a year or less. And she's going to be back out there either having kids again. When I say having kids, maybe, well, not maybe. She's always had a boyfriend. She's one of those women that's got to cling on to some man. And then she gets pregnant, has another baby, and doesn't take care of him properly. And I say that because that's not taking care of your kid when you're living in a car. How do you even think that's okay to live in a car and then go to a clinic every day and go get your drugs and then throw some food in the back seat at these kids? That's essentially what she said she was doing. She was getting food, getting drugs, and tossing it to the back with all these kids while Harmony was pooping and peeing in her pants. It makes me so angry. All right, let's continue this. And you know, you all can watch this. It's on Court TV, but my commentary is part of the content, so I appreciate you being here.
How did he put her in there, Kayla?
He like folded her in half and put her in the double bag.
So when you saw her in the kitchen with this black eye, what, if anything, did you say? It's okay. Take your time.
Something along the words of, oh my God, what did you do, Harmony?
And who answered that question?
My nephew, Adam,
Where was he?
standing right behind her.
And what did Adam say?
She didn't do anything. I bashed her around the house.
She won't get the burial that everyone deserves. She doesn't get a headstone in the ground above the head that he battered. She doesn't get to be at peace in death because of what he did, because he can't afford to tell anyone where she is. He believes Harmony's life and death are a waste of time and that they weren't anything to him, and that he dumped her like trash. This is what you you've seen in the evidence, this is what you've heard the defendant say when you consider whether he has an extreme indifference to the value of Harmony's life when he killed her. He had no value for her life when he killed her. He took an innocent life, a child, for no reason other than his rage and his indifference and his ignorance and his lack of humanity. Because this trial is about Harmony Montgomery. When did you last see Harmony?
April
April of
2019.
April of 2019.
Yeah, right before Easter.
How did you see her?
Oh, I was doing a Facebook video call. That's my girl. That's Harmony.
When the two of you were living together, how was Harmony?
Amazing. Rambunctious, very smart. By the time she was 2, she could tell you her whole life story.
She was talkative.
Yes. People didn't believe she was 2.
And joining us as our special guest this hour, Harmony Montgomery's mom, Sorey. Crystal, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know that you're not feeling 100%, but my guess is that Harmony's giving you a little extra strength to be on with us tonight.
She always does.
Let me start here. And I don't know if you were able to feel it, but I know here, day in and day out, here at Court TV in the newsroom, people were feeling it. When you go out and people talk about the trial to you, we're feeling it. When I read what's happening on social media, you feel it. That people loved that little girl, and they were feeling some pain because of what you went through and what she went through. For those folks who never were blessed to meet little Harmony, what did we all miss?
So much, so much. Oh, she was so funny, and she was so much like me, hearing that during trial, I said it from the beginning. I said, he did what he did because he couldn't stand that she was more like me and nothing like him. And she loved to sing and dance, and, she really liked to make her friends feel good. And if she saw someone sad, she was wanting to try and make them happy or do something that to help, like if she saw people sitting outside, she would automatically say, like, Mommy, they need something to eat, they're hungry. She had a huge heart in such a small body. I just can't, and I mean, I won't ever.
I want you guys to keep in mind that this was yesterday. It came out actually last night. As soon as I got off of one of my lives, this came on, and I caught this live last night. You can see that it says live on there. So it was in the evening, and I watched it, and I really wanted to do it right then and there with y'all because we've been covering the Adam Montgomery case, and we all know beautiful Harmony. And I still question, is there justice for Harmony? Has there been justice? And will there be justice? So let's finish playing this. But this was from yesterday. It's very recent. So I want you to know that I try to keep up on the cases as they go. Unless I'm taking something way back, then you'll know it.
Never be able to wrap my head around the pure rage that he had towards her when all she did was be born. That's all she did. She didn't ask to be here. She didn't ask to be born by 2 addicts or any of that. She deserved so much more. And when she was here with me and Michelle, she did live a really great life with us. You know, we made sure that she was always happy and had fun and was always doing different things. And, you know, we also tried to get her the help that she needed while she was with us, you know, being in play therapy or, you know, the few services that Michelle had her in. She loved school. She only got to go for 1 year, but she loved it. Barely a year. I think it was only a few months, but she really loved it. As you can tell in the picture with her backpack, and she has her hair in a ponytail, and she has her ABC shirt on. She really was so excited to go to school, and I just feel like he took so many things from her, because obviously he didn't want people to see what he was doing to her. You know, he never brought it. He brought her to one urgent care appointment. She never been to the doctors, never school, nothing. It was like she didn't exist to any of like the government in that area. But there's so much about her that isn't said, you know. She was blind in her right eye, but she didn't let that stop her. She didn't let that stop her. And when she was misdiagnosed, like, you know, they said she was going to be special needs. They said, you know, she was going to be developmentally delayed, and she was none of those things. She was none of those things. They were wrong. They were so wrong. You know, when she got around kids, she would, you know, she just would want them to, how do I say it? She would just want them to be happy, like, no matter what it was. Like, if she saw someone angry, she'd be like, well, why are you mad? Can you talk to me? Like,
What child does that? That is amazing.
Yeah, like,
That's
you know,
amazing.
Oh gosh, she was, I would call her an old soul sometimes, you know. I say the same thing about Jameson. They have that in common. They are so much more mature than you ever would think they would be at their age, you know. People really did not believe her age, you know, and now thinking about it's been.
I didn't realize this was going to be such a sad episode, everybody. I'm glad I didn't put it on last night because I was really tired and feeling really like sad faced when I was watching I caught the end of it. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch it with you all last night because I might be over here crying with her. It's really sad. And I can relate to a lot of the things that she's saying.
You know, 4 years, and she would be 9. I just think of all the things that she would be doing right now, how she would be thriving, you know, if she was here with me. So that's really what I think about a lot, is where is she and what she would be like today.
You know, we covered the first.
I got this new mic, everybody, and it is very sensitive. If you touch the back or you touch it to move it, a little light turns off, and that's what happened. So, basically, what I was saying was that it's very sad. I was almost crying with her, and I'm glad I didn't watch it last night with you all because it makes me want to cry when I see her the way she's so sad. And I also said that my daughter is an old soul like that too. She comes up with things that nobody would say at that age. No little kid would know. They don't have empathy, or they have empathy, but it's hard for them to express it at that age. And so I can relate to her. And this new really cool this really cool mic that sounds good is very touchy. So let's finish listening to this. Thank you for letting me know.
First trial of Adam Montgomery, and he said something at his sentencing. I want to play that for a moment and then ask you a question about it.
I understand that I was found guilty by a jury, and I'm not here to dispute that at all. The only consideration that I ask of you this morning is for you not to consider anything as it relates to the case regarding my daughter Harmony. I did not kill my daughter Harmony, and I look forward to my upcoming trial to refute those offensive claims.
He said he was going to refute it, but we looked in the courtroom every day, and he didn't show up, Crystal. Your thoughts about Adam not having the guts to show up and face the charges?
Well, he's shown us all what type of person he is. He's 150% a coward. He only hits women and children because he can't face a man. And he makes sure that if he thinks you're even a tiny, tiny bit afraid of him, he is going to use that. And he was going to do whatever he can to manipulate you or play on your emotions or play little mind games. Like, what goes for me, what I go back to when I think about him saying that is the choice of words. He could have used any word other than offensive. He could have said horrendous. He could have said disgusting, disturbing. He could have used any word, and he chose offensive because it offends him that people know what he did. It offends him that he no longer has control.
She nailed that shit.
It offends him that people see him for who he is.
He's a coward.
The facade that he makes people believe.
Damn.
So the way
So
I
right.
think about him, he's a coward, and he's not even worth the poop on my shoe, to be honest.
So at this trial obviously had many difficult moments for anyone to watch, let alone Harmony's mother, you. At the moment where it was described by the state's witness, Kayla, what actually happened at the moment that Harmony was taken from this earth when she was murdered by Adam. Were you inside the courtroom for that moment?
So there were 2 days where they did it. I was there for the second day. I wasn't there for the first day. But even still, like, even if I missed a day, I would sit and just watch everything I missed, you know?
So and that's what I was wondering, if you wanted to not hear it, or if it was okay to hear it, so you wanted to know that you wanted to hear what had happened.
There was certain parts where I did get up and walk out, because I know it's different coming from her, but if you think about it, I have heard this and been told this and read affidavit after affidavit, document after document. So this is like literally all I've heard for the last, almost 40 years. So hearing it from her was totally different than reading it on any paper. Especially with the lack of emotion in a lot of things that she said, except for the only thing she cried about was describing what he did with her body, basically. She didn't cry at all when she described him beating her, punching her multiple times and that. She didn't drop a tear one time during that. And I thought that was very strange, very, very strange. If something traumatic like that happened to you, and it happened to a little girl you claim to have loved, you're gonna cry the whole entire time you're speaking, not just when he talked about putting her in the duffel bag.
I agree. I found a lot of folks found a lot of problems with Kayla
Yeah,
Montgomery.
her testimony to me was just very strange, very, very strange to me. She can convince the world that she was afraid.
Yeah.
I do not believe that. I do not believe that. If you were so afraid, you would not have conceived a third child while my daughter was in the vent above your bedroom, above your bed with that man. You would not have conceived a child.
Wow.
And she did, and it happened to be a girl, because that is how God works. And guess what? She don't get to have her daughter either, ever. She don't get to be around those kids. And you know what? That's the best thing for them.
Let me ask you this.
Because you know what? They have a chance.
Yes, yes. That is.
Before he asks a question, I'm going to say that was a really good example for her to use in reference to Kayla being afraid of him and then conceiving a child in the same room where Harmony's body is right above them in the ceiling. What do you think about that? Another example that I have that stood out in my mind to me tremendously was the fact that when they talked about a saw that was used, or maybe not used, a saw that Adam wanted to use from her mother's house, she got all hyper and very, she had a lot of emotion and she got passionate about a saw. And she said, absolutely not. I absolutely did not let him use that saw. My mom hadn't even opened it yet. It was a brand new saw and I wasn't going to let him use that. And I told him no. How is she going to sit there and say that she was standing up for her mom's brand new saw that wasn't opened in the box yet and conceiving a child that's right above you in the ceiling, but she's afraid of him? I don't think so. I think Crystal is calling her out big time. Let's listen to what Vinnie has to ask her.
Important. I mean, throughout all of this, there's still more children, which is.
Yeah. Harmony was a victim, but so were those two boys.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. This trial that we all watched, do you believe that the truth came out inside that courtroom?
I do. I really do. I feel like there were some things that obviously were left out, but I feel like the just the amount of like witnesses they had and, you know, Adam not being in the courtroom, you know, her testimony of like barely having any emotions and whatnot. I think it really had a lot of people in the world that were like had missed things or had some things mixed up, the timeline. And I think it clarified a lot of things for people. And also, you know, they got to see it for exactly what it was. Like a nightmare, like a horror movie. Like, you know, nothing was sugarcoated. And I feel like Ben, Agati, and Chris, they did incredible.
Oh, absolutely. They absolutely did.
Incredible.
I mean, and what you're saying is so important to understand the reality of what happened here. I mean, and it's hard to believe that it actually happened, but it did. Crystal Sorey is staying with us the whole hour. This story's not over, folks. When we come back, we'll talk about the search for Harmony. She still hasn't been found. Plus, coming up next hour.
We got paused on this guy. I'm not following this case at all. I don't know if any of you are, but the Alec Baldwin case is, they should all be held accountable. Whoever shot it, whoever did the prop. So let me fast forward through this if I need to, and we'll go on to the next part about Harmony and the search continuing.
It's important that we find her for dignity, for respect for another human being. It's not about a feather in the cap. And none of these people here, none of all those agencies that I listed, it's not about a feather in the cap to say that we found her. It's about, this is what she deserves. That's what you deserve. That's what I deserve. Everybody has that level of dignity that they should be afforded. And Harmony is just like anybody else. She deserves to have that too. And so the search is going to continue for her until we're able to find her.
The search will continue, and the story's not over. Harmony Montgomery still has not been found. She has not been recovered. Harmony's mom, Crystal Sorey, with us tonight for the whole hour. Crystal, how important is it for you that Harmony is found?
It's so important. You know, I just feel like she's not at rest. You know, that's literally what I think about every day is where is she? You know, I want to bring her home. I don't, you know, bringing her home, cremating her, you know, so she can stay with me where she belonged, you know. And I would also like her brother to have a part of her, you know. He really loves his sister, so it's not just for me, it's for my boys, you know. I want them to know that I never gave up looking for her. I never stopped fighting for her. And that she is so important, you know, she is. And nothing that happened to her she deserves. So, you know, it's only right. It's hard for me to just carry on knowing that she's out there alone.
That's what this
in a
episode's
CMC
about.
bag, you know, it's
Agreed.
so that's the mission for spring, late spring. We're gonna start planning searches, and you know, I'm gonna get as many people as I can, because we won't stop until she's home.
Absolutely. Adam has not, and I hate having to bring him up again, but he knows what he did. He knows what he did with Harmony, and he has not revealed any of that. Is he that spiteful, that controlling, that if he feels he can control even one part of anything, he will hold on to that until the end?
So from what I'm understanding, his hatred for me overshadows doing the right thing for his daughter. He doesn't want me to have her. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with the authorities finding her or any of that. He doesn't want me
It's the spite towards you
to have her.
that he can control.
I wonder what that's about. I've heard that the entire time, and we heard them talk about how Adam said that if he ever gets a hold of or custody of Harmony Montgomery, that Crystal Sorey would never see her again. And I think when he saw her every day, when he did have her and he saw her every day, he could only see Crystal's face in her. And that's why he took it out on her. That's my true and honest belief about that. And I do think that she's right. It's out of spite that he doesn't want her having the body, and he'll do anything to not let her get the remains back and have that closure. But this is good because they're still planning on looking for her body. They have a search team. I'm glad that they're putting her on here and letting her talk, and we're listening to it. We want to like, subscribe, and share this to other people so they can see this. And hopefully people can call in and help with the search efforts. That would be great if we can get funding for that to help the mother and whoever else is joining in on the search. I would really like to see true justice for Harmony Montgomery, everybody. I think true justice would be them finding her and bringing her home. Even though she's had a lot of injustices, that would be amazing. Let's listen to what she talks about and what they're going to do with the search efforts.
This part of your emotion, this part of your life.
Yeah.
And this is the only thing that he's holding on to.
Yeah. It's the last shred of control he has left. And he's going to use it as a pawn, just like he always has. You know, I feel like he's going to say it, if he does ever, he'll say it on his terms, on his time.
And do you believe...
He won't say it just because we're begging.
Right. There'll have to be something somewhere in it for him. To me, that's the only way.
Exactly.
Do you think he shared it with... you think he shared the information with anyone else?
I think Kelsey knew. I've felt that in my heart since day one. I feel like she knew, and
Wow,
as much as they said, you know, her death wasn't suspicious, it was.
that's interesting.
It was suspicious. The timing and everything, and the fact that he was with her
Yes,
after Kayla and all that.
the one that died.
And getting rid of cell phones and this and that. She had to have known something. You know, there's no way you're gonna follow this man around and get rid of stuff in kiosks and he's acting erratic and you're not questioning anything. No, it doesn't make sense. I feel like he told her and she didn't want no repercussions and none of that. She couldn't handle it, and whatever happened, happened.
Wow,
But I believe Kelsey knew.
Point.
And then for folks at home, Kelsey is the woman you're seeing here with Adam Montgomery, who he was with after he left Kayla. And we see her, and she died in a hotel somewhere.
Yeah, I believe it was New Hampshire. And that's the thing to me. She wasn't from New Hampshire. She didn't know many people. She knew Adam. She was from Maine. If you think about all the little details about Kelsey, she was an alcoholic. So it's just, it's very, I don't know, that part for me, that piece will always be very suspicious. And I feel like she took it to the grave with her.
What you may have known.
But, you know, and the other person we know, obviously, is Adam.
Now, when you talked about organizing some searches, some areas have been mentioned by investigators and the prosecutors here: the Tobin Bridge, Rumney Marsh Reservation, Sales Creek, Chelsea Creek, North Shore Road, Route 107, US Highway 1, sort of this 6-mile radius around the Tobin Bridge area. What are your personal thoughts? Are you, and I don't know how well you knew Adam before you had Harmony.
We were together since we got together in late 2010, and we didn't have Harmony until 2014. So I was with him 4 years prior.
So knowing him for that amount of time, are there any of these areas where they've searched or within that 6-mile radius of the Tobin?
I have to say, everybody, that's rough. I don't know this area at all. I'm not from anywhere near that. And if you look at all of the marsh on Saugus side, and then Route 107, Bridge, Pizzeria, or Pizzeria, I'm not sure what that says, Pizzeria Bridge, Sales Creek, Broad Sound. Look at those areas. That is going to be a rough, I hate to say this, and I hope that Crystal can find it in her heart to have closure, because with the extent that he went to hide the body for the 4 months and everything else that he's done this entire case, that area is rough. We don't have areas like that in California we don't have marsh and all these different spots that you can see ahead. There's so many little facets of water that bag could be gone. So, wow, dang, this sheds some light for me to what they have to look for, the search team. That's crazy.
Bridge where they were able to track that U-Haul to, that stand out to you as, oh, this is an area he talked about, this is an area he knew about, or this was an area he would frequent?
I think they're really on the right track as far as like the marsh, the Rumney Marsh, and the Revere area. Also, what resonated for me is because I've had this consistent dream for like the last 4 years, and there's always the same sound in my dream. So when the incinerator was mentioned, I thought it really resonated with me because I'm assuming it makes, machine sounds or some type of sound, when it's running or working or whatever, and I always hear like a sounds like machines, and it's like it's in the distance, but it's close enough that you can hear it. And I feel like I do feel like she's come to me in my dreams, and she's tried to show me a little bit of where she could possibly be, because that Rumney Marsh really resonates with me for some reason. In my dreams, there's water, there's wet grass, there's like barrels, maybe of sand, salt, I'm not really sure. But I remember these details and I've written them down, you know. And then I go and I look on the maps to see if anything that I've written down match up. And that's the closest that I've come so far is the Rumney Marsh.
That looks like the whole area.
Obviously, when
So I feel like they're on the right track.
Absolutely. So when we get to springtime, let's stay in contact here so we can help publicize this search and help get some bodies out there to help find
yes,
Harmony.
For sure.
All right, Crystal's going to stay with us.
We're going to need all boots on the ground.
Absolutely. Like literally boots in the marshes, of course.
Yeah.
Crystal's going to stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about Kayla Montgomery. What about Kayla Montgomery? She's trying to get.
Yeah, what about Kayla Montgomery? This whole episode's interesting to me because if you people that are on here now didn't hear me earlier, I was thinking this already. Is there justice for Harmony? And I think that that's what they're trying to do. The verdict is the verdict. Adam's going to be in prison the rest of his life. They still haven't brought her home. And it looks like they're going to start this search back up, everybody. That's great that they're going to do this again. And I really, truly hope they find something for everybody's sake. But really, the one person that I got to say is crystalsorey. Being a mother, and a lot of you are probably parents too. It's just not, it's heartbreaking. And I guess I don't ever want to know, but bringing them home is going to give you that closure. Please bring her home. Let's listen to what about Kayla Montgomery. I have to tell you about Kayla Montgomery. I think she's a liar, and she's a habitual liar. And we can tell by what she was convicted for, but she had no kind of emotion at all on the stand. And the only time she cried, I felt like, was for herself. And then, when they talked about the body and what had happened multiple times. But I think she's crying because she did witness that and she saw it, and it's never going to go away. So that's what I think she's crying for, is herself and the fact that she's going to be stuck with that forever. Let's hear what they have to say. I'm glad they're bringing this back to make everybody aware that they are still looking for Harmony. And if you know anyone in that area, or there's donations that we can donate to, let me know. Let's help them out.
Out on parole.
It took 4 years to get custody of her.
Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Who's depicted in this image?
Harmony and myself.
Did you take her and put her in the ceiling of your room at the Fit Shelter?
No.
Did you smush her into a CMC bag like the one I showed you earlier?
No.
Who did those things, Kayla?
Adam Montgomery.
Kayla, I want you to look at these jurors. Kayla, did you kill Harmony?
No, I did not.
Did you beat her to death?
No, I did not.
Were you alone with her when she died?
No, I was not. He said he thinks that he really hurt her. But he felt something.
When did you realize that Harmony had passed away?
When Adam was trying to wake her up and she didn't reply or anything.
Was he saying things to her to try to wake her up?
Yeah, he said He said Harmony, and he kept saying baby girl, like, and trying to budge her, and there was nothing.
Kayla, why are you currently incarcerated?
For perjury, for lying on to the jury about the whereabouts of where I was and where Harmony was.
And those perjury charges put her behind bars. She is going to be eligible for parole, has a parole hearing coming up. Take a look, folks. It's coming up on March 7th of this year, a parole hearing for Kayla Montgomery. Crystal Sorey, Harmony's mom, still with us. Crystal, your thoughts tonight about that parole hearing. Are you going to request to be heard?
I'm going to do my best to be there. I was told it's only a 10-minute hearing, and living in Fitchburg, my son gets on the bus at 8:20, so it's like a time crunch. I'll probably barely make it, but I do know Michelle is going to be there in case I can't get there on time. So I'm not sure if she's going to say anything, though. I'm not sure about that.
And what are your...
I am going to write something and send it in.
Absolutely. That's, if you can't be there, at a minimum, you know, be heard. I mean, to me, every time parole board is making decisions, you want them to get as many sides as possible, so they're not like just focusing in on, oh, what she says.
I don't understand how her parole's coming up so fast. Wow. Right when we started the show, I said she's got at the maximum another year, but if she goes to that parole board and says how remorseful she is that she lied and that she was able to testify and whatever lies that come out of her mouth, they'll let her go. But I wish I could be there. I wish somebody could be there too. And I really hope that somebody can be there to say what they need to say. I wish Crystal Sorey could be there. And nothing against you, Crystal Sorey, but if I was you, take the kid or to have somebody else take your kid to school and go. Make sure that she does not get out now. Make sure she does that full year. It's not even that long. She should not be out on parole right now. She shouldn't even be up for parole is what I should say, let alone a freaking year. But if the parole board believes her and she talks about testifying and getting Adam convicted, they may just let her out. Damn, I didn't want to hear that.
Let's get the whole story in front of the parole board. What are your thoughts about Kayla's role in all of this and the way it was portrayed during the trial?
So I get what they had to do with as far as her testimony and giving her this deal or whatever the case is, because they needed to get him, you know, which I understand that. The way that Adam was portrayed, though, like, I have to clear something up because it's not true at all. He didn't work 4 years to get Harmony. He never went to a class. He never went to groups. He never took parenting classes. He never did any of it. There is not one shred of evidence that he put any time or effort into getting her. All he did, what I can tell you what he did do, is he forged paperwork proving that he had a job when he didn't. He had it for like 2 months and then lost it. He was trying to prove he was doing all this stuff and that he was clean, and he never was. So the fact that they were high the entire time they had my daughter, and I lost custody of her for having substance issues, not even being high. I was just at risk for major relapse, you know? And I kept going into program after program. I kept doing all these things. I wanted her. I was, you know, proving day in and day out. Never really missed. I missed one court date. That was that one court date I missed. And he never went to court dates until he decided he wanted her. Till just he woke up one day and said, yeah, I'll think.
Do you all remember that court date that she talked about? She was actually there. She was in the other room, and she got sideswiped. she went to the freaking court date and they didn't call her in the right room, or she was right in the next room and they had it in the other room, and she freaking got Harmony taken away. That's insane. And I love that she's telling the story right now of how Adam didn't do anything. He didn't file paperwork or go through all this stuff. He look at her face right now. She's saying, "Oh, yeah, yeah." She was at a different courthouse. That wasn't the right one. So that wasn't her fault. Then they faulted her for that, and all of this snowballed because of that. That is insane. And hey, Anthony, how's it going? Good to see you. I'll see you right after this live. Hopefully, I can check out that video. But yeah, all of this, her lawyer was supposed to ask for a continuance and all of that because of that. And he didn't even want her. Adam did not want her. He wanted her as a punching bag to get back at Crystal. And look at her face. Well, let's listen to her finish telling, "Oh, let me have her." He didn't do anything.
I think I want her because she's a meal ticket and I can get some social security for her. He never wanted her to better her life or to get to know her. As soon as he got custody of her, it was, to me, he said to me, "I have sole custody. I get to make decisions for the rest of her life and you won't have a say." That's what he said to me. And I'll never forget that he said that to me, because he didn't want her to, like, so she could have a good life. He wanted her to say he got her. She was his.
It gets back to that same control, right? If I can, because he can't control you, right? You're done with him. Yep. But in order to get to you, he uses her, and I control her, which is his attempt to try to control you, your life, your emotions, your recovery, everything.
Yeah. Yep. When I was having the visits, the 2 visits I had, he was ruthless. Like, I mean, had me walking on eggshells. Like, if I got a tone with him, he would threaten to never let me see her again. If I questioned something, he would threaten to never let me see her again. If I farted wrong, he would threaten to never let me see her again. Like, it was that bad. Like, he knew he had me in the palm of his hand where he wanted me.
We just saw a picture of Adam, and the teardrop tattoo. Is that a teardrop tattoo that he has? And is there any story behind it that you know?
Well, he told me that, he got it in prison after he did something. I don't know what it was, because he lied so much during our relationship. I could never tell what was the truth and what wasn't. You know what I mean? I used to call, what do we used to call him? Tall tales, because I'm telling you, man, this dude had stories for days. Every city he had a story for, like all these different scenarios. Like, I said, you tell more stories than Mother Goose. Like, also his nickname was Mr. Know-It-All, because he will argue with you till the end of time because he believes he's like right about something.
He's the smartest man. He's always the smartest man in the room. Just ask him.
Oh yeah. Yes. But we do, like, if they decide for Kayla, like, hey, we're not gonna let you out on parole, and they decide to have another one, we'll be at whatever court dates we need to be at, because I don't believe that she should just be out and frolicking around. And yeah, she lost her kids. Yeah, she lost her man, or whatever. I wouldn't even call him that. But she didn't lose a life. You know what I mean? Like, she has the possibility to see her kids when they're adults, when they decide, hey, we want to find our mom or whatever. I don't have that opportunity ever again. So no, she should never be able to get out, regardless of this deal. I get it. I know they had to do that. And as far as her getting out and doing well, she won't. And so I'm not really, if she does get out, I'm not really worried.
She's not going to do well.
I'm not worried about her having this great life when she gets out, because I know for a fact
she's not going to be able to live with herself, guys.
Well, Crystal, we're running out of time tonight, but we're going to stay in contact because you're going to be doing those searches in the spring, and we absolutely want to be involved with you in all of that. So I hope you feel better. I know, again, you're under the weather today, but thank you so much, Crystal. And if we can, on the way out, just take a shot so we can see the shirt, and I'll say good night to you, Crystal. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate it.
We'll be back.
Bye.
All right, everybody. I appreciate you all being here to watch this with me. I didn't have to watch it by myself and cry like last night. Very sad. But then it also got funny. So I really appreciated that, her talking shit about Adam, because he actually does look like a poser. And I got to look at the Nancy Grace one. I've seen Crystal Sorey on a few interviews, and every time I like what she says. At first, before I knew her, I didn't have much compassion for her, and I was saying stuff without having evidence, which is not what I typically do, but just out loud, not online, just in the house. I was like, I'm a bad mom. And then I saw her interviews, and every time I see her or I see her testify or an interview, I have compassion for her now that I know her story. So I always want to show the stories, and I always want to get the evidence so that I know what I'm saying before I just spout off saying shit like Adam Montgomery. He actually sounds like not only a piece of shit, but a super poser. Like he just wants to fit in with people and be cool. And he probably really didn't earn his teardrop. He did now. He did now for a little girl that couldn't fight back. So, yeah, he's a real piece of shit, everybody. And I hope that he gets his ass kicked in prison. Now, I know a lot of people, everybody will speculate. Everybody's going to say, oh, he's a child murderer. They're going to come after him and so forth. That doesn't always happen because they're going to put him with other child murders, other probably pedos, who knows. But yeah, I like that that she told that about Adam. That was really cool because I kind of figured his personality was like that. He's over there on the camera smiling at it, making faces and acting like he wants the camera to see him, but really he's just a big fat drug addict poser. That's all he is. He beats women and he controls people that can be controlled by him. If you get somebody that's like the 7 foot tall guy, he wasn't 7 feet, but 6'9" tall guy that we saw on the prison episode of CW on True Crime Investigate, I bet you that he would never be able to do anything to him. That guy would eat him for breakfast. So, yes, after they hear what he did to Harmony, he's definitely going to lose friends. And I hope that is all over the media. Because, yeah, he did still have friends from the weapons charges. He still probably was Mr. Know-It-All, acted like a badass. But now that they know about this, they are going to have to move him in a different area. No, I don't think that the whole crew in prison's going to come after him and he's going to get beat up. I wish justice was served like that, but that's just not the case. They're going to put him with other people that have done crimes like that. And I hope at some point justice is served in that way. And at least I hope somebody kicks his ass for thinking he knows everything. Or maybe they see him trying to punk somebody that's weaker, or they look at his teardrop and they're like, hey, what's that teardrop for? For your daughter? Because that's the only thing that's the only person that he's actually probably killed. He really is just an awful man. So backdoor justice sometimes is the best justice, Marv. You know what? Jeffrey Dahmer and what happened and how he met the end. I think he wanted it. I think he was done. But yeah, I think this Adam guy thinks he's so cool that he's gonna have women sending him. He already got beat up. Did he already get beat up? But I think he was staring at the cameras and smiling at them because he thinks that he's going to have women riding him and thinking he's cute and having like this mob of girls. I didn't know he got beat up, but I would sure like to see that. That's probably why and Sadie's mama says that too. He's not even beat up. Well, guess what, Adam Montgomery, you're gonna get beat up a whole bunch of more times, and probably even worse. Let's hope so, everybody. Yeah, the Dahmer was from Wisconsin. Yeah, he was right. He was from Wisconsin, and yeah, I can't keep up with all these states. But yeah, he was from Wisconsin. But that case was a whole other level. This is bad. Maybe he'll get a mob of dudes writing. Yeah, yeah. You know what? True Crime Investigates. He's gonna get a mob of dudes, all right. And they're gonna, even if they don't beat him up, I have a feeling they're gonna make him their bitch. He's not a tough guy unless it's a little girl or a woman. So, oh, you're in Wisconsin too. Okay. So, yeah, Wisconsin's got some crimes going on there. It's kind of like Florida. I'm in California. There's crimes, but, lately there's been these weird shootings and just a lot of oddball murders. Nothing crazy like this. I'm going to have to look it up. Although there was recently I think Zav's going to go on tonight and talk about this murder. I'm not going to say the girl's name because I don't want to talk about her case or anything like that. I just know there's a case in LA where this girl in Los Angeles was found dead and she was wrapped up in a boy's room. The parents found a dead body in the boy's room in Los Angeles. And she was wrapped up with, I don't know if it was plastic or plastic wrap or what, but I would love to do that case, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So hopefully I can catch a live tonight. And I do know her name. I won't say the name of the case. So we'll see if that happens. Anyway, everybody, this is Jay with Guilty of Crime. Soon I'm going to have an intro and an outro, and I won't have to say it every time. Thank you all very much for being here and supporting me. You're all helping so much. I've got quite a bit of subs for only being around for about a month. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you tomorrow, everybody. Lori Vallow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. What's next for Lori Vallow? Chad Daybell, what's next for him? And all some other crazy shit that's going on. I'm going to show you all how that case is tied up. So, yeah, what should I report on there, Marv? I'll talk to you soon. But, yeah, I do want to report on a lot of things there. Are we talking about the officer that process? So I'll have to go back and look at this. But I'm taking requests. So anybody that wants to send any requests, please do. It's Guilty of Crime by me, just the letter J at gmail.com, or just hit me up on Facebook, guys. It's J Scott. That's it. It's facebook.com/twisted images. So hit me up. All my social medias on my page. Let's talk about Lori Vallow tomorrow, everybody. Whoever can be here. It's a crazy case, and you all know it, but I got some cool clips coming and Chad Daybell and all this crazy madness. If you know about the case, cool. If you don't know about it, even better. I know about it, and I'm still going to have fun tomorrow night. So I'll see you all in a bit. Marv, hopefully I talk to you in a while. I'll try hitting you up on Facebook. And Greeno, I need a link. Everybody have a great night. I'm out of here.